my name is Maxine. Welcome back to my yoga YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoy. First of all, make sure to have a drink handy with you to rehydrate yourself throughout the practice. And I do like to begin on foot, so standing either with the feet together, slightly turned in over, or hip width apart, because sitting cross-legged, what they call easy pose, is not always easy for everyone to start off with. So like I say, I do like to begin on foot. So standing nice and tall, arms stand by the side in mountain pose, feet slightly turned in over to align the joints, pelvis tucked under and shoulders rolled softly back and down. We'll take a nice deep breath in, filling up the lungs, feeling the ribcage expand, and exhale it to press. So you could sigh that out if you wish to, just to release any stress and tension. Tuning into the breath, in and out through the nose. Closing the eyes or just taking the gaze off the tip of the nose. Just softly, maybe look down. And taking a moment just to arrive into the body, in the here and now, in the present moment. Maybe feel the feet planted, the palms pressed together. As we inhale and exhale through the nose, you might like to set an intention, whatever that might be personal to you. But most importantly, like I always say, just to follow the breath throughout. So just before we begin, set that intention. Taking the arms down by our sides and inhale up to the sky. Reaching up, slight back bend, palms together in prayer, and then exhale, soften the knees and fold it down. And let's take a ragdoll just to begin with. Maybe it's a gentle sway from side to side, alternately bending the knees, or little pulses up and down together. Let the arms fall or grab the elbows. It brings a little bit more weight down. Grabbing the elbows, pulling a little deeper on the backs of the legs. Nice nourishing breath, relaxing the head down. And then palms planted, fingers spread wide, and stepping it back into our first downward facing dog. But a downward facing dog may not be comfortable for you, so come down into a tabletop if that's where you would rather be. Nice nourishing breath, pushing the ground away. We want to align the arms with the back, hips to the sky, heels towards the ground. Maybe you want to take a little pedal or a gentle sway of the hips. Gaze forward and bring it down into tabletop. And then inhale, chin up, tailbone up. And exhale, as we do, begin to lower the bum towards the heels. Maybe you may not be able to reach the heels straight off. And then bring it forward and inhale up. Again, exhale, arch and bring it back. Each time, maybe being able to lower the bum towards the heels a little closer. Inhale up and exhale, bring it back. Then maybe a little rock from side to side as while you are here. Back up, inhale, chin and tailbone up. Exhale, pushing the ground away, back to the heels, a little rock and up, and inhale. Exhale, back. Inhale up, exhale back, drop the bum to the heels, a little rock side to side. Maybe if you feel you need to take a breath in between, do so, or just deepen the breath. And stretch it out. And then hold it down here, bum to the heels. Feel a little rock from side to side. Just get that synovial fluid moving around in the joints. And then stretch the arms out in front. One variation of child pose, active arms straight, pressing the fingertips of the palms into the ground. Passive arms are all prayer behind the head. And anytime you need to take a break, remember, always just come down to a child pose of your choice. And feel free to modify the poses in any which way suit you. It's your practice, so whatever feels good for you. But most importantly, like I say, just following the breath. Just anything that makes you feel good. Just take a little sway from side to side here, maybe. Turning the head from one side to the other. And then inhale up, the shoulders over the wrist, checking how the elbows rotate here. If you rotate the backs of the elbows out, they're going to bend that way. That is fine for thread the needle or the likes of that, but most of the time, just rotate the insides of the elbows forward. So we would have inhaled up to this point. Exhale, leaning forward, taking the weight forward and then down. Elbows tucked in and through and up. Cobra, baby cobra, if that's just where you want to take it for your spine at this point. And then we would exhale it back. So let's just do that again. Once again, inhale forward, check the wrists, check the elbows, and then exhale, taking the weight forward. Exhale as we bring it down. So the forearms need to be vertical or thereabouts. Don't worry if things aren't exactly like that for you. And then back. And one more time. Inhale forward, exhale down, and inhale up. Maybe you can take it into an up dog or just a higher cobra, or as low down as you need to be. Hold it here, wherever you are. Maybe if you're in an up dog, you could take a little sway from side to side, moving the shoulders, maybe look behind. Nice deep breaths. And let's sit it back into a wide knee child pose. Bump the heels, just lengthen the arms out, rest the forehead, melt the heart to the ground. Several breaths. And then bring the palms in so the arms are still stretched out, and then maybe a little sway from side to side. Bringing one shoulder across, look over the shoulder. And then back to center. Let's bring the knees in, the hands in front, and let's step the knees out so we're in at the tabletop, knees underneath the hips. Maybe take some more cat-cows. You could sway from side to side in the cow, and then maybe rock it back and forth in the cat, so side to side in the cow, and exhale. Just shifting the hips over, just doing it in any way, which way feels good for you. Closing your eyes, feeling your way into the body, and tuck the toes under, chin up, tailbone up, lift it up, sink it back. Finding once again a nice strong triangle. You could bend the knees to push the hips up or want to aim to. So if you are here and your head's there, you want to sink down so your head's in alignment with the arms. Just relax, sit down, push the ground away, activate, and finding a nice strong posture, deep breath, and then gaze forward. Let's just walk the feet in towards the hands at this point. Fold it over here. Grab the big toes or the ankles. We want the knees bent, chest to the thighs. So let's feel the chest of the thighs. The knees could be this bent. Don't worry if you're not there. Relax the head. You may want to hug behind the calves. And then let's release it to about halfway up. And bending the left knee, taking the left hand to the ground or towards the ground, or if you have blocks and you're not reaching the ground, you could rest on a block. Right leg straight, and reach the hand under the hip, shoulder back, elbow to the sky, and if you are here comfortably, sweep the hand up to the sky, stretching out through the fingertips. Set my breast, turn the palm and reach behind the back to the opposite thigh. Again, pulling the shoulder back, focusing on the breath. And then release now to do bending the right knee, straightening the left leg, right hand towards the ground, wherever you can reach to, and again, hand on hip, shoulder back, elbow to the sky. If you're comfortably here, sweep the arm up to the sky. Several breaths, really stretching out through the fingertips, tensing through the arm. Turn the palm, reaching behind the back to the opposite thigh. And then release. Straighten and bend both knees together. And then bring it up with a nice deep inhale. And pray. So just taking a moment, notice how you feel. Maybe the breath's going a little quicker, maybe you can feel the heartbeat going a little faster. Just taking a moment just to slow it down. Noticing any sensations in the body. Maybe noticing the subtle energy body beginning to flow more freely already. Checking out the posture. Maybe you want to roll the head around in one direction and the other. Arms stand by the side in mountain pose. Inhale up to the sky, slight back bend, prayer. Soften the knees and fold. Inhale, halfway flat back. Bend the knees, hands down, step the right foot back into plank. Drop the knees if you need to. Check the elbows are rotated down, so from knees to or plank through to the ground, or from halfway up cobra or up dog. Back to down dog. Feet not too far away because we want to keep high hips to allow a small room with the leg to step through. Right leg straight up in line with the body. Activate the leg, push the ground away, really lengthen, strong and tense. Point, flex the foot, point, and bend the knee, look underneath the right armpit, push the ground away, see if you can feel that extra opening up the side, circle the foot, one direction, then the other, following the breath, back again, point the foot, straighten the leg, nice and high, square the hips, come onto the ball of the left foot, right knee through to the nose, hips high, weight forward, step it through into a lunge. So check each foot's in alignment with each knee and hip, so we're on separate tracks. Reach up to the sky. Several breaths here. You can bend into the back knee or straighten and push back into the heel. So let us take an inhale as we lower it down and open the heart. And exhale as I sweep the hands down by your side, straightening out the front leg and flexing the foot. Lengthen. Inhale, exhale, fold and hold it here. Let's take a nice deep stretch down the back of the leg. If you want to soften the leg or bend the leg, perfectly fine. Maybe lengthen a little further through the spine and fold it in. Just a fraction closer. And then gaze forward, weight down. Inhale up to the sky. Exhale, turn the arms the same way as the legs. Pushing into that foot, lengthening through the torso. Several breaths. Inhale. And then exhale. Reaching down behind the back or down the leg to wherever you can reach to. Then maybe open the heart to the sky. Several breaths. Release and inhale back up. Exhale, sweep it down. Lengthen, flex. Inhale, exhale, fold. And then bring it back up. Inhale. Exhale, turn. In, push, lengthen through the torso. Several breaths. Strong arms, inhale. Exhale, reach again either behind the back or down the leg. Just gently warming up the spine by bending back over a little further. Reach back to the sky. Down one small. Sit it back, lengthen. Nice deep breath in and exhale it down. A little closer. Nice deep stretch down the back of the leg. And then bringing it back up. And then onto the toes. Lifting it up into the lunge. And then we're going to turn the arms, reposition the back foot into Warrior Two. Warrior Two, our feet are on the same track and the knee is above the ankle. So to check that's right, you can just look at the knee and you'll see the tips of your toes, pick it out. If your knee's there and your toes are there, we'll adjust the knee. Or vice versa, if it's on that side, bring it back into the centre. Pelvis tucked under, strong arms. Several breaths. And then let's flip the front palm. Lift and reach behind and over. Down the back leg. A little further down on each exhale. A little further. And then let's bring it up. Check your knee hasn't fallen. It wants to be directly above the ankle. And take an inhale. Exhale, resting into the thigh and then bringing this arm in alignment with the body. Look at the fingertips if you can. And then maybe you could reach to the ground or just stay rested in the thigh. And then bring it up. Straighten both legs. Back foot parallel, outside of the back foot should be parallel with the back of the mat. Flip the front palm. Inhale, reach behind and down, and on each exhale a little fraction further down. You can look behind or look up. And then back to center. Look at the front fingertips. Take a nice deep inhale. Exhale, reach forward. So we want to keep the hips stacked. You'll find when you can't reach any further, then it's time to tip down. But keep the hips stacked. We don't want to collapse. We want to have the hips stacked. Several breaths here. Bring it back up. Strong arms, pelvis tucked under. Flip both palms up. Inhale to the sky. Maybe his palms together and make a mudra. This is the Kali mudra. And then we're turning to the front of the mat, bending back into the front knee and flipping onto the ball of the back foot. But we'll want the feet on separate tracks. So if you are on the same track, just wiggle the feet out a little. You may find yourself in a deeper lunge here, or if you want to take a deeper lunge, just slide the back foot back a little further. So pushing down into the hip and back into the heel. Nice deep breath. And then cactus the arms. Lower down. So inhale, opening the heart. And exhale, sweep it down. Straighten, lengthen, flex the foot. Inhale and exhale. Fold once again with a nice deep stretch. Keeping the knees soft if need be. Deeper stretch of the legs straight. And then gaze forward, weight down. Opposite hand down underneath the shoulder and reach to the sky in the center. Several breaths as you stretch through to the fingertips. And then as you bring the hand down, just allow that leg to fall out to the side and take the hand just on the thigh, above the knee. And let's just push the leg out, nicely opening up the hip. And just relax and breathe. And then let's take the hand down and wiggle that foot just on the inside of the edge of the mat, on about a 45-degree angle, and just enough to allow this hand to come underneath your shoulder. So hands are directly underneath the shoulders, and if you can, just come on the ball of the back foot, shift that back knee back a fraction further. Just if we deepen the splits here, it makes it easier because then to lower the chest down to the ground. So just rocking from side to side. And then you may be able to, first of all, come onto the opposite forearm to the foot. So the foot and the forearm are pretty much in alignment. Knee out, and then maybe you can come down out of both forearms. But if you're here, perfectly fine. The elbows can bend in any which way, it doesn't matter at this point. We're just aiming to bring the chest as low as you can. And then the next step would be to, if you can, onto the ball of the back foot, straighten the leg and just rock it back and forward with the gaze forward. Nice deep breaths. And then lower back up onto the hands, but you could have done that off the hands, bending the elbows just as much as you can, or off the forearms. Reach to the sky in the center, so that hand's back underneath your shoulder, so it's in alignment with the hand. Reach to the sky, stretch it out, deep breaths. Bending the back knee, bringing that foot towards the bum cheek. Reach behind. If you can, grab for the foot. If not, just take the hand behind your back, reaching for the opposite thigh. If you have the foot, pull it in. Just gently. A little closer. And then maybe you could come onto the forearm. But we're aiming to open the heart, so don't come onto the forearm if you're bent in like that. We want to open the heart, so therefore you would need to be on the hand. Let's have a nice deep breath. And then release, bring it up, sit it back. This leg's out on an angle, flex the foot. That knee is underneath that hip. And just gently lower it down as much as you can. Nice deep stretch once again, deep breath. And then lift it up and weight down onto that front foot. Come up onto the ball of the back foot. We're going to lift it up, we're going to rock it back and forth and bring it forward into a squat. So just maybe step it forward if it's a little bit difficult to take that stride forward all in one go. And then have a little wiggle around, come onto the balls of the feet, lift it up and down if need be. You could also put a block behind your bum if it's difficult for you to get down, and then each time gradually lower the block down and down. And then we are going to use the palms and the elbows to push out the knees. So we want to find a nice lengthened spine. Close the eyes, I'll just take the gaze off the tip of the nose. So you could lift this squat up and down and ease your way into it if you aren't comfortable here. But if you are, just sit and breathe either way. And then let's stretch across in front with one arm and up to the sky with the other. So the arm's in front of the leg, up to the sky. Stretch it out, reach it up. Again, nice conscious breath. And then back to prayer. Pushing those knees out, lengthening through the spine. And then reaching over to the opposite side, stretching it out. And back to prayer. And then we're going to lift it up into star, so taking a nice deep inhale to stretch up to the sky. Just lengthen it out. And then exhale, prayer, and walk the feet in. So just taking a moment, finding that moment of stillness. You worked really hard there, so notice the exhilaration, that release after the exertion that we've just put ourselves through. Maybe notice any sensations in the body. It's taking time to slow the breath back down. It's being fully present. And also always finding a nice strong toe posture, and then composing ourselves to prepare for the other side. So getting a drink if you need to. checking out the posture, tuning into the breath, eyes closed or the gaze just softly off the tip of the nose. Arms down in mountain pose. Inhale up to the sky, slight back bend, pray the hands. Exhale, soften the knees, hinge and fold. Inhale, halfway flat back. Bend in the knees, hands down, step. If it was the right leg, you did step back before, the left leg this time, or you can jump back into chaturanga, which is half plank. Drop the knees if you need to here. Check the elbows are rotated. So we'll inhale, exhale forward, down to the ground, or halfway from half plank and up dog. Back to down dog. Once again, high hips. Nice strong triangle. Palms, planted fingers spread wide, pushing the ground away. Reach the left leg straight up in line with the body. Activate, point the foot. Flex the foot. Point. Straight, strong leg, bend the knee. Look underneath the left armpit, circle the foot. One way then the other, nice conscious breath. Back again in the other direction. Point, straighten, square the hips. Ball of the right foot, left knee through the nose, bringing the weight forward. Maybe come up onto the fingertips, it gives you more room to get the leg through. Feet on separate tracks, knee above the ankle, find your balance, lift it up. So again, knee could be soft or straight. Several breaths. And then taking it down with a nice deep inhale. Opening the heart, exhale, sweep it down and curl the back toes, straighten, lengthen, flex the foot. Inhale, exhale, fold. Nice deep breaths. Stretch a little fraction closer. And then weight forward, knee back above the ankle, inhale up to the sky. Exhale, turn the arms the same way as the legs. Don't collapse, push into the foot. Lengthen through the torso. And then inhale. Exhale, reach behind, down the leg or behind the back. Wherever you can reach to, maybe open the heart to the sky. Release, inhale back up. Exhale, sweep it down once again. Sit it back, lengthen, flex. Inhale, exhale. Fold it down. And then weight forward, inhale back to the sky. Exhale, turn the arms the opposite way. Again, push, lengthen through the torso. Strong arms. Inhale, exhale. Reaching behind the back or down the leg to wherever you can reach to. And release back to the sky. Nice inhale, exhale. Sweep it down once again. A little closer. And don't worry if you're here and you need to bend the leg there, perfectly fine. The more you do this, the more flexible you will become. And then back down, knee above the ankle, lift it up onto the ball of the foot and up into the lunge. Let's have a breath. And then we're going to turn into warrior two. So reposition the arms and the feet, the back foot. Again, checking the knee doesn't fall in or out. You look down, toes will be peeking out of the knee. pelvis tucked under, back foot parallel with the back of the mat and feet on the same track. Strong arms, several nice breaths. Flip the front palm, inhale, reverse, reaching down the back leg. A fraction further on each exhale. Back to center. Strong arms, inhale. Exhale, fold into the thigh, so we're bringing the arm above in alignment with the body. Hold it here, or take the hand to the ground or towards the ground, or have a block. And again, lining the body, the arm with the body, looking at the fingertips if possible. And then back up, straighten both legs. Several breaths here for a little rest. Strong arms. Flip the front palm. Inhale, reverse, reaching down. Fraction further on the exhale. Fraction further. And then back to center. Nice deep breath in, look at the fingertips and reach it forward. When you can't reach any further, then tip it down, but don't collapse the hips. Keep them up nice and stacked. And then bringing it back up. Flip both palms up. Inhale to the sky. You can stretch the hands out or pray or interlock. Making the Kali Mudra. Turning to the front. Bending into the front knee and flipping onto the ball of the back foot. Making sure the feet are on the same tracks, not on one. Otherwise you feel like you're on a tightrope and you will wobble. So pushing down into the hip. Deepen the lunge if you want to shuffle the back foot a little further back. Pushing into the hip, back into the heel. And then lower it down. Inhale as we open the heart. And exhale as we sweep it down and sit it back once again. Lengthen and exhale, fold. See if you can get a little closer. Nice deep breaths. And then weight forward onto that foot. Opposite hand to the foot underneath your shoulder. Reaching to the sky in the center. Several breaths, stretching it out. And then as we bring the hand down, just let that knee fall out. Hand on the inside of the thigh. Just push out. And breathe. Just doing it in any which way suits you, whichever feels good for you. And then let's bring the hand down, wiggle that foot just so it's on the inside of the edge of the mat, and let us bend the elbows, shift that back knee back just that fraction further just to deepen the splits here, and then rocking from side to side, bending the elbows in any direction. It doesn't matter here where they go, as long as our aim is just to rock and lower the chest down. So if you can eventually maybe get onto the opposite forearm to the foot, maybe that back knee can shift back a fraction further, and then if possible onto both forearms. So just a gentle rock from side to side as you get here, and then onto the ball of the back foot, lift it up, gaze forward, rocking it back and forth. And again, if you need to, off the hands, it's perfectly fine. Just bending the elbows to wherever you can lower down the chest to. And then lower the knee, come back up onto the hands. So hands underneath the shoulder once again, in alignment with the foot, and reach to the sky. Stretch it out. Nice deep breaths, and then bend the back knee, bringing that foot in towards the bum cheek as close as you can, and then maybe getting hold of the foot. If you have the foot, pull it in. If not, hand behind your back. Aiming to open the heart. Several deep breaths. If you have the foot, pull it in gently, just a fraction, just very slowly and gently, closer and closer. We don't want to pull anything. And then onto the forearm. Opening the heart, remember. And release when you're ready. Knee underneath the hip. This leg on an angle, flex the foot. Lengthen and lower to wherever you can get to. Again, deep stretch, deep breaths. And then plant the foot, so it's on an angle. Come up onto the ball of the back foot, lift it up and rock it forward. I'm just going to come back slightly and squat it down, or lift it up, gently easing into it, or wiggle around onto the balls of the feet. If you feel you can't get the heels down, you could use maybe blocks behind or a rolled up towel just to support you, until eventually, with practice, you will get the heels down and the bum down a little lower. So again, if you need to be lifting up and down, having a wiggle around, that's perfectly fine, or just stop still and then stretch out across in front of one leg and up to the sky with the other arm for several breaths. And then exchange, pray to the centre, push the knees out. And again, reach down across, stretch it out, and up to the sky. And then back to centre. And then bring it down to our bums. Just give the legs a little wiggle. And that's just leaning forward, walking the bum cheeks back out of the way. Doing quite a bit of stretching with the backs of the legs. So let's soften the knees and reach it up. Flex the feet, inhale, really lengthen through the spine, and also exhale, reach, hinge and fold. So we're aiming to bring the chest to the thighs. So you may need to bend your knees as much as this is perfectly fine. We just want to bring the chest to the thighs. If they are touching, you can slide the legs out a little straighter, so as far as you can go where the chest's still touching the thighs. Grab onto wherever you can get hold of. Bring the head down towards the shins. Nice deep breath, deep stretch, maybe lengthen through the spine and take the gaze forward. Nice deep inhale, exhale, fold. And then let us just roll down gently, one vertebra at a time. Taking the arms out wide, bending the knees, and let's shift the hips so bringing the heels in towards the bum of cheek, shift the hips off center to the left a couple of inches. Take a nice deep inhale, exhale the knees to the chest, and then let them fall to the right. Keeping the shoulder blades as close to the ground as you can. Just pulling those legs down with the opposite hand. Turning the head the opposite way. Just relax and breathe. And then release back to center, feet down. Shift the hips over to the right, opposite way. Nice deep inhale, exhale the knees to the center and let the hips fall, the knees fall to the opposite side. Taking hold of the leg on the outside, trying to keep the shoulder blades as close to the ground, turning the head the opposite way. Just take some nice deep relaxing breaths. And then release back to center. Feet down, shift the hips back to the center, realigning the spine. Arms down by the sides, palms facing it over. Let the legs go straight, flop out. Lift up the chest, tucking the shoulder blades away beneath us. And just relax with a nice deep breath, filling up the lungs. And a big sigh out. Just release, relax, surrender. Letting the physical body melt into the earth below. Just feel the weight of every body part, the head, the arms, the back, the bum, the weight of the legs, the heels, just melting away into the earth below. Just every exhale, just releasing, relaxing and surrendering. And then with the inhale, breathing in that life force prana energy, feel it flowing freely throughout the body. Just looking into the center of the forehead, into that empty space. Feeling the lightness of that subtle energy body enter the emptiness. Float into the space. Inhale and just letting go as we exhale. If you're still holding on to any negativity or any baggage, just release that and let it go on the exhale. Just feeling lighter and lighter. So inhale and just immerse into that nothingness, the empty space. And if any thoughts come into your mind, come back to the breath. Notice the rise and fall of your chest. The thoughts will want to keep coming back in. Just focus on the breath and letting those thoughts go. more you practice, the more gaps and space you will have in between those thoughts. We just need to train our minds to observe them, be the witness, catch them before they turn into a story, and let them go and start again. And then just continue if you wish to in Shavasana, as it is the very most important part of the practice. But if you are ready to want to leave, let us just come up into a cross-leg position. Maybe you would like to try a lotus. First steps and stages is to aim for the heels to come into the centre, to as close to the perineum as possible, and then maybe just sit them on top of each other, or you could maybe find the shins resting on top of one another. And you may find one side's easier than the other, so if you're struggling one side, maybe give the other side a little try and see if there's a difference. Or then also maybe half lotus, so bringing that heel as close to the centre, and the closer you bring the heels to the centre, the lower the knees will be. If we're sat here cross-legged, the knees tend to be higher, so bringing the heels to the centre, the knees will go lower. And then half lotus into the ground with one foot, and then eventually slide the bottom foot out and pick it up and position it on the top. But all this takes time, so just practice and you'll get there. Let's just take some nice circular movements in and over, and then the other side in the other direction. And then it's also a good time to take a little meditation, whether it be just a couple of minutes or 5 or 10 minutes or even half an hour after a nice practice, releasing all of that energy that may be stuck and stale and blocked. It's really a perfect time just to sit and try and still the mind. A straight spine, you could have the palms down over, making a mudra of your choice, down or up, palms facing up over, or just palms facing up over, and however which way suits you. Closing the eyes, looking to the centre of the forehead. Just focusing on the breath. Again, if anything pops into your mind, catch those thoughts and just release and let go on the exhale. Back into the centre of the forehead and follow the breath. So you may continue here and do that, or let's end the practice with a nice deep inhale. Filling up the lungs, bringing the palms together in towards the heart centre. And remembering that our breath is a powerful tool, always accessible to us, to reconnect with and reclaim our natural state of being, which is peace and calm and love and joy at any time, any place, anywhere. And when you are ready, gently open your eyes, and not forgetting to end our practice with a moment of gratitude. Also giving yourself a little thank you for the time that you spent, that you've taken for yourself and with your practice. and thanking your body for what it's achieved. Namaste. Well done, everybody, and thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed. See you again. Bye.